So, I thought I'd just do a quick video to talk about the current boxing landscape. For me, it's in a little bit of a quiet place, isn't it? I feel at the beginning of January, it was really exciting. You know, we had Usyk Fury, we had Joshua fighting, we had Crawford fighting, we had Inoue fighting, and now I think a lot of the current champions are reaching the end of their career. You know, Usyk Fury. I don't know if I can see Usyk fighting again after that. Crawford doesn't seem to have anyone to fight apart from maybe Canelo. Again, Canelo doesn't really have anyone to fight. And I don't know how much the Crawford fight benefits him, because I think he said this himself. There's no real upside to taking the fight. If he wins, everyone's just going to go, oh, he was so much smaller than you. You were supposed to win anyway. And if he loses, you know, everyone's going to say, oh my God, you've got beaten by a welterweight. So as I said, boxing is in a bit of a quieter place at the moment. As I said, I'm still definitely looking forward to Usyk Fury 2, but I mean, it's not crazy excitement because I feel like it will be quite similar to the first. Billum Smith, I'm looking forward to him in November. And I think the same with like the light heavyweight scene, you know, Bivol and Beterbiev have, you know, they've got all the belts. Oh, they're probably going to be split off now. I think Beterbiev has a mandatory for the WBO. So I think I'll have to vacate that belt if they do the rematch. Cruiserweight, Joe Pataya. I think he needs to fight Chris Smith. That would be a super fight. Obviously, at the weekend, we've got Boots and Bam fighting, but I don't know anything about their opponents. So I think I'm going to do a video on that and look into their opponents, because I feel like it's not a good sign when you don't know their opponents. But as I said, I think I'll do a video looking at their opponents. You know, are they going to get wiped through, or do they have a chance? I will say a fighter that excites me at the moment is Inoue. You know, I love how regular he fights. He fights, what, 3-4 times a year? I don't know why these other stars don't do that. The same with like Tank, as much as he's a great fighter and one of the biggest names in the sport, he just doesn't fight enough. Again, what is Devin Haney doing at the moment? Crying. Ryan Garcia, I think he's got some sort of event scheduled for January when he's back, so I'll be looking forward to his return. But yeah, the main thing I wanted to talk about in this video was Anthony Yarde. His trainer, Tundi Ajayi, has come out on an interview talking about where they want to go next with Anthony Yarde's career. Anthony Yarde, he had a sort of, was it a comeback fight on Sky Sports for a one-fight deal a few weeks ago now. He won, but it was a very unconvincing performance. He dropped the guy in the first round, and then sort of the other guy had quite a lot of success. I mean, Yarde did enough to win, but it was definitely a shaky performance for someone he was supposed to knock out. So yeah, they were talking about what's next for Yarde's career. For me, for most of the boxing public, there's one name. There's only one name I want to hear, and that name is Joshua Buatsi. I think Joshua Buatsi is a brilliant fighter. I think he's really good. He's undefeated. He finds a way to, you know, comfortably beat everyone. You know, he comfortably beat Dan Aziz, who always seems to get himself in awkward stylistic matchups. His last fight was against Edmondson was just so hard to score. I think it was the same with his fight before that. The one that was on the undercard of Billum Smith Riagpur. He took care of Aziz. He's took care of Richards. And now he's took care of Hutchinson, who I rate quite highly. I think he's got a really difficult style. So I think Buatsi's the real deal. And honestly, I feel like Buatsi deserves a shot at Bivol Beterbiev, but if they're going to fight again, the only next real name I want to hear is Yarde. You know, that'll get the casuals involved. They'll both talk it up. And it's time to figure out who is better. Because obviously, Yarde has had like a really weird career where he'll fight the best of the best and then he'll fight nobodies. It's like a bit of a strange one. And Buatsi's, he's had a lot of good fights. He's been pretty active as well. So it's a fight I would love to see. And I think it's the fight that needs to be next. But it concerns me that Tundi Ajayi was talking about Chris Smith. For me, it's like, well, does Yarde not fancy his chances against Buatsi then? Like, he looked really dejected after his last win. Like, really dejected. And Buatsi was it was like sitting on the side, looking quite cocky. And I'm thinking, oh, maybe Yarde doesn't fancy his chances against Buatsi, you know? He wants to go up to cruiserweight and fight Chris Smith. I guess in his mind might be an easier fight, but honestly, I think Chris Smith, after that last performance, I think Billum Smith wipes the floor with him. I think Billum Smith's getting beaten by Anthony Yarde. I mean, there were a few other names he mentioned around there. He talked about Beterbiev rematch. not against it, but not going to happen. Kovalev, I think that guy's retired now. The same thing with Chris Eubank Jr. Eubank Jr. always used to, he does this anyway. He talks about like wanting to fight retired fighters. Like, just let the past go. It's in the past. Is Yarde potentially ducking Buatsi? I think maybe. I think that last performance wasn't convincing from Yarde. Maybe he just got the wrong mindset. He tried to knock him out after the flash knockdown in the first round. But for me, the interview definitely gave me some sort of warning signs that, maybe Yarde doesn't fancy his chances against Buatsi. The other thing I want to talk about is, obviously, Canelo loves to fight in May, right? Who does he fight in May? From what I've heard, it sounds like the Eubank Jr. talks have gone. I think Team Canelo were annoyed with the way Eubank Jr. was making loads of demands when they were first debating with him for the fight that eventually went to Belanga. So they said that they wouldn't negotiate with him again. But Ben Shalom said they were talking about it. I mean, for Canelo, the only one I'm thinking of is Pacheco. He's a pretty decent up-and-coming super middleweight. Caleb Plant rematch? Possibly? I mean, the first fight was decent, and I think, to give Plant some credit, he got prime Canelo, in my opinion. Would he fancy a rematch of Plant? I think he would sell well. Plant's coming off a good win. It could be an interesting fight, and I don't know yet. Not really many other names to go for. Imbrili, maybe. So, as I said, I would do a video previewing Boots and Bam. How good are their opponents? And another fight I would like to see is Inoue versus Ball, because I think Inoue's been struggling with the weight, so if he moves up, Inoue Ball would be a great fight and another chance for him to become another weight world champion, to give him good standings in the pound for pound list. But yeah, thank you for watching the video. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed. It really helps. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.